One of the things that I've been wanting to do since I was a little girl is go on a missionary trip.
Not everybody wants to go to corporate America. So back to your original question that you asked me, how do you create generational wealth? That's how you create generational wealth.
Welcome back to another episode of the WIM Speaks Show. I am your host, DP Jeter, holding it down for the #1 sisterhood in the industry, Women in Media Global. And before I go any further, today is an amazing and special occasion because we have a live audience in the studio with us, and I think you can hear them in the background. We are here at the Center for Black Innovation in a room full of bosses, women on purpose, and women who are looking to not only build businesses and be a part of the industry of media and entertainment, but they are looking to change lives. So we are excited to bring you another expert onto the show. But before I get started, I'm about to spill some tea about me. I want you guys to get to know who I am and all of the things that make me Danielle Jeter. What you may not know is outside of being an entrepreneur, I have a heart for giving. I have a heart for God's people. And one of the things that I've been wanting to do since I was a little girl is go on a missionary trip. So I was growing up in a church in Philadelphia called Brand New Life Christian Center. And every summer, my pastors are from Jamaica. That's a church I got saved in, baptized in, and I started to go there probably 4 or 5 years old with a dance teacher who was also a babysitter / my best friend at the time. And every year, the church would send these huge containers of school supplies and clothes and all types of goods back to Jamaica. And then there would be a group of ministers who would go and do a missions trip in Jamaica. And I always thought, I want to do that. That sounds so cool. I definitely want to do that. At some point in time, I know it is going to happen, but I am certainly looking forward to doing a missions trip. I remember also when I was at Spelman, there was the whole earthquake and everything happened in Haiti. And so there was students who from Morehouse College who actually got together and they did a trip over there, a missions trip. So that's one thing about me that you probably did not know. So make sure you are checking out our website, womeninmediaglobal.org. Go there, join our VIP squad so you can get invited to our events and different opportunities that are available to you. So I'm going to get out of the way now because our guest came all the way to the sunny island of Miami to be with us in the studio. And I just want to say, welcome, Karen, to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
I'm glad that you are here.
Absolutely. We're going to drop some gems tonight.
Because she is looking fire, okay? Like amazing. So we are so excited to welcome Karen Swain, who is the CEO of Excelous, to the show. Karen brings 15 years of expertise in entrepreneurship and government contracting. She is known for her authentic speaking style and her remarkable leadership. Her impressive background includes top roles at Deloitte, Bearing Point, and IBM, managing large federal ERP projects. I don't even know what ERP is, so we're going to have to find out what that is, okay? But she is always driving strategic change. Karen's leadership has significantly impacted the public sector, earning her a recognition as the 2022 Prime Contractor Small Business of the Year nominee. She is also a passionate mentor, guiding aspiring professionals and entrepreneurs in their business to education journeys. So today is a special edition for National Black Business Month, and we're going to dive into what all of this means, AA certification, and how you can also land $1 million. Can they land $1 billion?
Absolutely.
Okay. $1 million and $1 billion contracts with the government, okay? Karen shared with me that the government can be one of your leading clients. So we're gonna unpack that all right here. So make sure you keep it locked and loaded right here on the show. Hey, this is Danielle Jeter, the founder and president of Women in Media Global and also AOI Events and PR. And I just want to give a huge shout out to the Center for Black Innovation in Overtown. I am here recording my podcast and I love the setup. So if you are in South Florida and you're looking for a great environment to shoot your podcast with professional lights and production, microphones, and all of the cameras, make sure you come to the Center for Black Innovation. Podcast, content, whatever you need to do is here at the Center for Black Innovation. Check them out. Karen,
yes.
First of all, I told something personal about me, so we're going to start off.
You want to know something personal about me?
How you keep all this together, okay? Because we need to know. I'm getting up there, and I just got to make sure that I got all the secrets, because you look beautiful.
Thank you, Danielle. I've always been like this, so I'm my authentic self. I like to look the part, and I like to make sure that my image matches up with what I'm selling, and so that it all comes together.
A millionaire boss lady. That's got multi-millions, right? Multi.
Multi.
There we go.
Yeah, thank you for the compliment.
You're welcome.
Yes, absolutely.
So you have a regimen. I need you to unpack a little bit.
A little bit? Okay, I'll give you a teeny bit.
Okay.
Most people, of course, they compliment me on my hair. My hair has been short as long for probably since high school. So I keep a short do. My mom sewed for my sister and I until we were probably in high school. So the first time that we really bought clothes out of the store was going to high school, really. Mm-hmm. But all through elementary school, she sewed all of our clothes. So I took, a liking to that from my mom with fashion. I used to help her cut out her patterns, but I'm just so mad and angry with myself that I never really learned how to sew because clothes are expensive.
And it's not many people that know how to sew these days.
And they want $2,400 for a little lightweight, some slacks or some pants. So
they be cashing out. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So anyway, so that's where I got the love of fashion and clothing and interiors and all the things that I enjoy on my personal side.
Do you have some sort of routine, a wellness routine, a millionaire routine?
No, I don't.
Fitness routine?
I don't have a millionaire routine. Now, as far as fitness is concerned, I need to do a better job with that. I do get to the gym on a pretty regular basis, but when you're running hard and trying to keep this business going and all that, I will say that you have to take time for yourself, like this trip. I was going to just fly in, do this podcast, and leave. But I said, Karen, at least put a day in for just yourself. Get you a massage, have some self-care. So I did do that. So I'm not going to leave until Friday. And it's Wednesday, you guys, and who's in the audience. So I did put a day in for myself.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Skincare routine, I believe in that.
Okay.
So, keeping your skin up and drinking your water and getting on a healthy skincare daily and nightly regimen, I think is so important, especially for women. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter what color you are. That's critical to me. So I'm big on that. Yeah. So that's probably nothing other than that. Nothing, no $1 million top secrets.
You don't get up and I do the most. You could probably catch that in another episode. So I know that you spent a lot of time in the private sector, about 20 something years there.
Yes, I did. So prior to government contracting, so let me give you guys a little bit of my background. So I went to FAMU, Florida A&M University, and I have an accounting degree. I left FAMU in '94 and I moved to Atlanta, worked for about 5 years, and then I went back to graduate school. And I got an MBA from Clark Atlanta University, right across the street from where you went to school at Spelman.
That's right.
And from there, I went into management consulting. Now, the reason that I went into management consulting is very important to what I'm doing today. It was the only field in industry that made me feel entrepreneurial, okay? Most of the folks that were in our school of business getting their MBAs at that time were either going into finance or brand marketing, going to work for companies like Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble, SC Johnson Wax, those kinds of companies.
The big Fortune 500s.
Exactly, and there weren't really a lot of students that were pursuing management consulting. As a matter of fact, we didn't have a lot of companies that even recruited at Clark Atlanta at at that time from
Right.
consulting firms. And when I'm talking about consulting, I'm talking about Deloitte, Accenture, PricewaterhouseCoopers, those kinds of companies. And so IBM Global, which is the consulting arm of IBM Global Services, they came to recruit. And I went to the reception to learn about the company. And it was a handful, like less than 5 students. Our dean was so mad. He was like, how dare we work on these relationships and you guys don't show up to these receptions. I got a job there that way.
You got the job in the room?
Not in the room, but I got the interview, and then which led to my offer. And
You graduated school with a job. Look at that. All blessed up. Praise God for that.
So I went to IBM first, and then after that I went to Bearing Point and then Deloitte. So when I was at Deloitte, I was at a point of my career where I had to make a decision about moving forward, moving forward into upper management. Was I going to go on the partner track? And I had decided that I knew I really wanted my own firm. I've always been entrepreneurial. Stepping out on my faith that way wasn't anything new to me, but I had to make that critical decision because Deloitte is the largest consulting firm in the world. It's a lot of people were like, you're going to leave Deloitte? Who leaves Deloitte? And stepping out into an entrepreneurial career was tough. It was a tough decision. I went home to my parents and talked to them about it. Of course, my mom, why would you leave a job you already have in a career? And so when I decided to do that, I went out as an independent contractor. And I think this is important for your audience to understand and learn how to do this, okay? So an independent contractor is someone that works and bills for themselves. They don't work for the company.
Right.
Their revenue is being earned through their tax ID number. And so I did that. I've always been in the technology space. So I implemented large, what we call enterprise resource planning or ERP implementations like Oracle.
What is the ERP?
So ERP is enterprise resource planning. That is nothing more than a piece of software that supports the entire enterprise, the entire organization, from finance to HR to supply chain to operations. There is a module that can support that part of the organization.
Is there a sole supplier that has this software, or is this being built behind the scenes?
There is a supplier that has this software, Oracle.
Oracle.
Oracle owns the software.
They do something else?
They ACLE.
I don't know why I don't know.
A lot of people, they may see Oracle on endorse different like PGA and those big, large sports.
We need to pay attention to these companies. Like we see Oracle, we need to be like, what does Oracle do? Mm-hmm. Start researching these Fortune 500 companies and get involved. If we're building big brands, we have to do what big brands do. In order for us to know what big brands do, we have to do our due diligence.
Yes.
And start to follow their tracks, follow the money. That's what my mentor told me.
Yep, I agreed that 100%. So when I left corporate and went independent, I did that for about 6 years, from 2011 to 2016, just billing myself.
Okay.
I got with a recruiter and got on a contract, and I was on that contract for a couple of years. And then I started getting certified at the local level. And when I say local, I'm talking about the city of Atlanta in my case, local counties.
Right.
Because they have their own small business certification program. And so when I did that, I started partnering with larger companies that were going after work at the city of Atlanta, or in our case, DeKalb County. And I got on a couple of teams. They won the contract, so I won because I was their subcontracting small business partner. And so that took my revenue to somewhere around $340,000 or so. I remember in 2016, I think my last tax return was about $346,000.
And how many clients and contracts are you working on?
It was two.
Once?
It was two at the time.
Two.
It was
Just
two.
give me one.
It was two.
That's what I need in my life.
I was billing myself.
People I got to talk to. You got to talk to everybody.
The contract that I had for myself, I was full time on that, and then I won another contract, and I had another person on that. So that's how you start to grow.
See, that's why you look all good. You ain't stressed out with all these clients. I love it.
Just a couple. And you got to also keep in mind we're in technology, so we make a little bit more money, right? The billable rates for IT resources are a little higher. So that's what happened, and from there I went to the federal government, and the rest rest is history that I'm sure we'll talk about here.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
So as it is National Black Business Month,
Yes.
so happy Black Business Month to
Thank you.
Karen.
Absolutely. Right back at you.
So what do you think as far as this celebration, what should entrepreneurs and businesses be doing during this month, and why is awareness holidays like this important?
I will say this for all small businesses. I think in particular small businesses of color, okay? They should be tuning in to shows like yours that are offering and providing information on how to do business, how to grow your business beyond a side hustle, how if you have aspirations to move beyond a W-2 business model into a full-blown business, because let's face it, the tax code in this country was not designed for W-2 employees. It just wasn't. The tax code is designed for businesses.
That's the first bar, okay? Make a note.
Note. It was. It's just the truth. And this is why when you look at what are businesses able to write off, it looks very different from what a W-2 employee is able to write off.
So can you write this trip off, technically?
We're not going to get into all that, but I'll just say
trying to hold
this.
back. We're going
It is business.
I'm
so-
sorry, we're going to ease in. Let me ease on in.
Yes, this is business, and to answer your question, yeah, it will get written off.
Let's write it all
Absolutely.
off.
Absolutely. So I will tell businesses to start to align yourself with either mentors or coaches that can help you do what they did. Find someone that is doing exactly what you want to do. If you want to make $10 million, you find a mentor that's made 10 million, not one, okay? I need you to find one that made 10 or more, because a $1 million person can't tell you how to make 10. They hadn't done it.
They ain't done it yet.
So you start to develop your ecosystem, and small business owners have to learn how to do business. I was that person. When I first jumped out there in the independent contractor world, I didn't know what I was doing. And so just like you learn how to do someone's job, you've got to learn how to grow
You're
a
the CEO.
business. Yeah. And it's more than just getting the customer, right? You've got to learn how to price your services. You have to learn how to account for all of your cost of doing business. Not just the cost, but the costs you don't see. Right? The costs that are affecting your business that you don't really even understand, right? You got to bring the right infrastructure in place. You got to bring accounting to the table, systems to the table, platforms to the table. And what you have to quickly understand is that everything that you do, when you are making money in business, a percentage of those revenues that you're making need to go back into your business to continue to grow it, growing the foundation of it. And the foundation is really the infrastructure.
Let me ask you this. Have you read Profit First?
No, I haven't.
That book?
I haven't. Yeah.
Okay, because I know that I've clip noted it. I'm going to read it. It's on my table. But the writer, the author of this book, that's his philosophy, profit first. As small businesses, making sure that we're paying ourselves. He has a whole accounting system basically that he teaches in this book. And it goes back to paying yourself twice a month and so forth and so on. So
Exactly.
just wondering.
Moving beyond Cash App and Zelle.
It is so hard to move beyond Cash App and Zelle when you can just get it like zing.
I know, and
But
listen,
I know it's not the thing we should be doing, billionaires.
Yeah, in order to really move beyond just an individual, you're going to have to get into platforms that pay you. It's the first thing. Is even when, if you guys remember, during COVID, there were so many businesses that couldn't even take advantage of the PPP money because it's called
People
payroll
went to jail
protection.
for that.
I know, but people did
I saw
go
a
to jail.
judge in Atlanta. She done went to jail. How
Yeah.
is she a judge in Atlanta?
Because there was a
did
lot of people.
PPP.
Yeah, they filled out false paperwork, but there were a lot of businesses that couldn't take advantage of PPP because they don't have payroll.
Yeah, they don't have the paperwork.
You're not running payroll. It's called the Payroll Protection Program. So if you're not running
the
payroll,
payroll,
then you can't take advantage of that money. And so as business owners, we just have to move
That's
beyond.
a lot.
Yeah. Moving money from the business account to the personal account. We all are guilty of it. We all have done it. We all do it.
Yep.
And I am looking in this camera right now and telling you, if you are snatching money out of your business account and moving it to the personal, stop today. Okay? Those are called equity distributions. You will pay taxes on that money on your personal personal tax return.
Okay, so that is takeaway number 2 from our business masterclass. So make sure y'all are writing that one down, okay? Because
that's a big one.
I've made that mistake. I'm not even going to sit here in front like I am the perfect person. I've definitely made that mistake, and I had to pay for the consequences.
That's right.
Of doing it the wrong way, but I didn't know until somebody told me. So now you are in the light. You all know.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big one. I did the same thing too, Danielle. Whenever I needed money, I just hit the transfer button.
It's just so quick.
It's so easy, right?
We do not live in a microwave, y'all. Let's just do the right thing. So I want to talk about legacy and, what your definition of legacy is. Also, specifically, how do you help and inspire others coming up behind you?
So first, my definition of legacy is when you create an environment for the next generation to be able to benefit from. Create an environment. Because most of us, we're not born into, so in most, I would say, people of color, our households, we have to create something. So first start there and create something that has a real, true revenue generating model that the next generation coming behind you can be trained on and can duplicate and keep and continue to keep it. And there are industries and there are businesses that allow that. Government contracting is one of them. So I would say that's the thing that I would tell anybody to do. If you have children, if you have kids that are in high school right now, you should be talking to them about options. These kids in this generation, they're not necessarily, I don't want to call it brainwashed. Entrepreneurship is an option for them. They're not trained to just go and work for someone. So we have to meet these children where they are. So that means that you have to give them options, businesses that they can go into. And so that's what I would say.
I think you definitely hit it right on the head when you talked about a business model. I know from experience just working with the community and aspiring entrepreneurs that we have a lot of ideas, but the thing is, like, what is the business model? Like, how is this going to make bread?
Exactly.
Like, how are you making money? How are you going to get the clients?
Execution.
What is that system?
And the thing that I think a lot of times business owners we struggle with is what I call the schizophrenic business. It's the business that's all over the place. Because entrepreneurs, oftentimes, we are multi-talented, right? We can do this and we can do that. But in any business, if you're going to see any type of long-term longevity in this space, you got to niche down. You got to get down to something that a customer can depend on and know you buy. Not that you can't do other things.
You got to at least niche that one service, scale that one thing.
Yes.
And then once that
and grow that, go
making
deep.
a profit.
Yes, go deep in that.
Would you say 6 figures, 7 figures? Once that one gets, what would the goal be?
Don't look at it as a particular dollar amount, right?
Okay.
Look at it as this is where you're going to spend the rest of your life in business.
Life?
Your business life.
Your business life.
Yeah, your business life.
What if I change my mind?
You're open to change your mind, but again, anything that you change your mind to, you're going to have to put the same level of effort into growing that you did from the very first one. So if product A or service A, it took you 7 or 8 years to really grow this one up, it's going to take you 7 or 8 years to grow the next one up. The average new business, new product, new service is about a 10-year run. Okay, it takes about that long to really stand up a model from a baby and grow it, because you have to grow the service or the product, put the structure in, get all your processes and your systems and all that. I often tell folks, when you get to a certain age, I'm in my 50s.
You lying.
Yes, I am. But sometimes when you get to a certain age and you haven't started, it might be easier to buy a business.
Come on, see?
Okay.
There's a lot of things on this document we got to talk about. This might turn into 2 episodes.
Then start one from scratch. You know
what? Can I share with you one of my dreams?
Sure.
I want to buy media. I want to be on my Byron Island tip.
Okay.
So the media industry is one of the industries that you can actually be a billionaire in. Let's talk about Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry, her mentee. And so I'm like, Byron Island went and bought the Weather Channel. Then he made Weather Channel in Spanish. And he bought some other things from ABC and all these other people. And that's what I want to do.
Yeah,
I want to get my stuff together, and women in media, we could do this together. We could become a community, a business partnership, and we can go buy media channels, because that's one of the ways that we can actually change the narratives about our community and controlling what is going out there on the distribution channels about our representation.
Just take, for example, let's use what we're doing right here. This is your podcast, right? I'm assuming that you have to bring in a production crew.
Shout outs to the production. Leon's is here.
Okay, production man is in the house, right? So your production company, they have their own business and they have clients like you, and you're not their only client. Mm-hmm. Let's say hypothetically that their business was flourishing, doing fairly well, but just needed a good boost. Right? But they had all the equipment, good employees, good processes. They seem to be tight. Every time you use them, you have a great experience. What about purchasing their production company?
My business is for sale if anybody wants to buy it. Just putting it out there.
And so you would bring that in-house. Now you can offer production services, there are strategies. Purchasing business is an absolute growth strategy.
The business?
I have not, but I have been approached about somebody purchasing my company. Exactly.
Yeah, because when I started to do the research for agencies, so I also own AOI Events and PR, which specializes in public relations. And years ago, I started to do my research. How can I really scale this business? Because I'm like, it got to be a quicker way to do it, and it's through mergers and acquisitions.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm like, acquire me. Let's go. I don't care if you change the name. I'm not married to it. I'm married to wanting it to be a success.
Yeah, and the thing about when a company is getting ready to acquire you, you have to have your company's ducks in a row.
Yep.
When I say everything, when a company is looking at purchasing you, they're looking at the entire profile of the business, from the profitability of it to what does the management team and structure look like, to what do the long-term contracts look like. They want to know how far along down the road can I eat off of you. And so it's more to it than just, hey, I want to sell my business. I've been around for 10 years. And part of that is having a strategy, an exit strategy for your business when you start a business.
So you got to have the exit strategy in mind
at the beginning.
When you're starting. Yeah.
In most small businesses, myself is included, we don't have that.
I haven't really thought about that.
No, we don't. We just say, I want to do this, and you start business. But if you had an exit strategy when you start, then it would drive how you grow the business, how fast you grow the business, so that you can get yourself positioned to get out of it, if that's what you really want to do.
I really love this information and this conversation. I wish that 19-year-old, 20-year-old Danielle had Miss Karen.
I know it.
When I started my business, I had no idea what I was going into. I was just so tenacious. I was like, I'm going to start a business. Had no clue.
Let me go. Just let me grow. Don't smother my potential. Let me be what I was.
Introducing the WIM Speaks Show, produced by Women in Media Global. Join us every Sunday at 10 a.m. on Video Mix TV for entertaining and empowering stories, insightful interviews, and inspiring content hosted by Danielle P. Jeter. Tune in and elevate your journey with us.
Chasing and I keep on embracing.
So let's talk about the programs that you are starting at the HBCUs and your vision behind that.
FAMU, near and dear to my heart. We are in the very, very beginning stages of conversations with their School of Business around exposing government contracting to the student. There are students who, as I said before, they have entrepreneurial aspirations. And the beauty of the federal government is, one, they buy everything, and two,
everything
that's illegal.
Let me say that. A lot of stuff getting legal now.
Literally, they buy everything from all of your technology and landscaping and all those services to health and beauty. They buy wigs, they buy toupees, they buy prosthetics, they buy all of that.
And so also services as well. If I don't have a product, but I'm service-based.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Professional services, that's the space I'm in. I provide professional services. We don't have a product that we manufacture and it goes down the assembly line and the government buys it. Now, we do provide product procurement, which is if the federal government says, hey, an agency says we need a bunch of Dell laptops, then we can provide those Dell laptops for that federal agency. And so we do that kind of work. But as far as owning a proprietary product, we don't do that. We do professional service work.
Awesome.
So what were we talking about?
We were talking about, the HBCUs.
HBCU.
And you're going to expose this AA certifications to students.
Yeah, and so with the students, I have one great example last year, a FAMU student in the School of Business interned with me, okay? And in that internship, he interned for the summer. I paid him in his Social Security number, right?
They all blessed and lucky. I interned for free. These students today, they know they worth. They like, yeah, I'm worth something.
That's right. Like, they're making $50,000, $60,000.
I'm proud of y'all.
For interns.
I'm proud of y'all.
Yeah. And so when he came back this summer, I told him, I said, listen, I want to talk to your parents because I want you to stand up your own LLC.
That's awesome.
And when I pay you this summer, we're going to pay you in your tax ID now, in your company.
Let's go.
Okay. Now we're starting to get you past performance. And then when he comes back next year, which will be his senior year, he'll intern with me again. So he'll have 2 years of business tax returns. He's going to file his 2024 returns. Wow. He'll file his 2025 returns. So by the time he graduates from college, he would have 2 years of business tax returns, past performance with my company. He can go into the federal government right then.
So he can get AA certified. You say he can go into that program?
He technically could. He wouldn't be ready. He'll need some more past performance. But as far as having the tax returns are concerned, okay, and the past performance is concerned, he would check those boxes. Now, as far as the 8A program, I know we're jumping ahead a bit. The 8A program, I'll explain what that is. That is a small business development program that is administered by the SBA, the Small Business Administration. And it is a 9-year program in the federal government. For you to get certified, you have to first be a small business. And in that 9 years, the federal government allows you to receive what are called sole source contracts. That's SOLE, sole source. A synonymous term for sole source is non-competitive, meaning you do not have to compete for these contracts. And the federal agency allows you to receive those up to a maximum of $4 million per contract. Okay? They don't cap you on the number of contracts that you can get. They cap you on the contract value. And you have.
So they're all not valued at $4 million.
They're valued at all different.
Different based on the service or product.
Based on the need of that agency. Okay. But the maximum that they will award a contract to you for is $4 million, with you not having to compete for it. So one contract could be $4 million. One contract could be $500,000. It could be $1 million. It could be $285,000. It just cannot be above $4 million, and you receive it without having to compete for it.
And so how long is the contract terms?
Whatever the government agency chooses to be. It can be 4 years. A lot of them are 4 years, $1 million a year, essentially. Some of them are 2 years. It just depends on the agency's requirements. So that's what the 8A program is all about. And with that program, you have certification guidelines. You have documents that you have to submit to the SBA in order to get certified. Mm-hmm. They're looking at your tax returns because they want to make sure that you are in fact small, right? They're looking at...
What's considered small?
So a small business is a business whose revenue over a rolling 3 to 5 year average is under a certain dollar amount based on a particular, what is called a NAICS code. That's an acronym, NAICS. It stands for North American Industry Classification System Code.
You are a business expert, okay?
I've been doing it, girl.
We need the dictionary with the definition.
Right. I tell people when they're talking to me, I say, write it down. Always have your pencil and paper. Write this down.
Shout out to Keisha. She got her page and her pen going.
And your voice record. Exactly. So a NAICS code is a code that the SBA assigned to an industry sector. So there are a NAICS code for agriculture, for IT, mm-hmm. for human resource,
professional services.
Yeah, so all of your different industry sectors have a NAICS code assigned to them, and that particular NAICS code has a revenue cap. You cannot make above or earn revenue above $24 million in a 5-year average. They take your tax returns over the last 5 years, and they can't be over $24 million. If they are, you are not considered small in that NAICS code.
Okay, so AA is specifically designed for small businesses.
It is specifically designed for small business.
Wow. Okay. So as a small business owner, we go through to get AA certified. So how can that help me? How can I leverage this to like scale? How can I leverage this for visibility purposes?
So when you get 8A certified, you are now in a position to do business with the government and grow your business in a way where you don't have to compete for these contracts. So it allows you to establish some relationships, right? Not have to get so concerned with all the heavy proposal writing, because they know you're new, right? Most small businesses coming into the federal space, they don't have a ton of experience writing these competitive proposals and having all the competitive pricing and that sort of thing. It becomes a situation where, based on a combination of relationships plus what you're bringing to the table as far as your skills, your technical capabilities, your past performance, where have you done this before? All the government wants to know is to show them, where have you sold these services? Let's say it's a digital marketing or PR. Government buys digital marketing and PR services all day long, right?
They're going,
Yeah, there's a place for WIM. Okay. And so what they want to know is, can you show me, Danielle, where you've sold these same digital marketing services before and what you've done? Articulate that to me.
Okay.
Because the government says it's not that we don't want to do business with you, but we don't want to take a chance on somebody that's using us as a test dummy. We don't want to be the guinea pig. The government doesn't.
So I remember when we spoke the other day, you mentioned that before you actually go after the big maximum $4 million contract, you should become procurement ready.
Absolutely.
Right? And you have a program that helps. Is it women in business? All business.
It's all businesses.
All businesses to get procurement ready.
Procurement ready.
It's a step before the.
It's a part of procurement readiness. It's really for any business. It doesn't matter whether you're selling lemonade. The same rules apply, right? What we were talking about earlier, you have to have your infrastructure in place. You've got to have your HR infrastructure in place, your operational infrastructure in place, those kinds of things. You have to have certain platforms that you're using and paying for to operate your business. And in the government's case, you have to understand and know the how part, the implementation part. How do we do business with the government? Not what do we do. The how is, how do we communicate with the government? How do you learn about the federal agencies and their different programs and their different missions? Just like all of us those of us who are still in corporate America. You work for a company. Your company has different divisions. Those divisions do certain things for the company. You need to know what they do, right? If you are going to be a true rounded W-2 corporate American employee, you should look beyond just your job. When you come to work every day, yes, you need to master your job, but you also should look upstream and downstream and how does your department impact the next department and the department behind you? How does the entire ecosystem work? That's what starts to help you and develop you into a more valuable asset and resource to that company, because you're not just operating in a box. You just sit down to work every day and just do just what they told you to do. Same thing in government. You want to learn these agencies' missions.
How many agencies are there?
Danielle, the answer to that question, it's over 100.
Okay.
You have what we call executive branches. So your executive branches are when the president have political appointees. And so I liken it to when a football coach comes in and fires everybody and bring his own squad in. Same thing the president does. If it's a Democratic president, they're going to bring in the heads of each one of the executive branches. So the executive branches are the Department of Health and Human Services, Department of Homeland Security, Department of State, Department of Education.
And since this is the election season, Kamala about to come through all her folks.
Come through, sis.
I'm trying to get on her team. If you know her, make an intro for us.
There you go. So
shout outs to her.
We're going to get her in. Yeah, no doubt. We're going to get her in. The executive branches have individual agencies.
Got you.
And so there are many of those, over 100 of those in the federal space. And they all have needs.
They all have needs.
That
you, as an entrepreneur, a business owner, can fulfill by going through and making sure that you get these certifications and you become procurement ready.
Yes.
So I know that there's a lot of information here, and I haven't even gotten to all my questions. But right now, what I want to do is open it up for Q&A so that we can get a question or two from our audience members. So if we could go ahead and utilize that microphone and make sure you introduce yourself, just your name and your business and your question, please.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Farrah Charles, and I own the Farrah Charles Project. And my question to you is, how can I get my project to get some of this government funding or government services that you were speaking on earlier?
All right, Farrah, the first question I have for you is, what kind of project is the Farrah Charles Project?
The Farrah Charles Project is a production company.
Okay.
We do media, we do entertainment, we do fashion.
Gotcha.
We do productions.
Okay. All right. How do you get into government contracting with a media and entertainment and production company?
Yes.
Okay. So you get into government contracting the same way if you had a media entertainment production company, a cybersecurity company, a landscaping company. It doesn't matter what kind of company it is. Okay. The first thing that I would tell you is to get under someone like myself that can help bring you in.
Sold. I'm with you. Take me
Where I
with you.
sign up. Drop the link.
Take me with you, girl.
I like Farrah.
We love Farrah.
Farrah said,
First to
sold.
arrive.
Sold. I'm with you.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing to do, is to get help, okay? But I will tell you just some quick and dirty steps that has to take place. Obviously, your project is, your company is already stood up. You already have an LLC, I'm assuming, that's incorporated in probably the state of
Florida.
Florida, exactly. The first thing is when you are wanting to do business with the government, you have to register in the government system of record, and that is called the SAM database, okay?
Okay.
Or SAM platform, and that is the System Award Management, is what SAM stands for.
Okay.
And that is a way to register your business. They ask you a lot of questions, basic information about your business profile, address, phone number, and all of that. But it's also where you get to identify, what are you going to do?
Okay.
What are you selling to us? You remember the conversation about those NAICS codes?
Yes.
This is where you get to identify what NAICS codes you want to go into to sell. So there are NAICS codes that are specific to video production, entertainment, media, digital, all of that. And so you will enter those NAICS codes into the SAM database. They're going to ask you a lot of questions around your company's background. Have you ever been involved in any lawsuits? And this is where a conversation around the Federal Acquisition Regulation comes into play, or what we call the FAR. I liken the FAR to what the IRS code is to the IRS. It is the procurement Bible for contracting. It helps keep the government in line, and it helps keep us as the vendor community providing these products and services in line, okay?
Yes.
You can go to jail behind government contracting. Let me be clear.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not the place to come if you have any type of seedy background, or you do business, or you associated with folks like that, because we sign documentation. We are agreeing to a lot of different laws and regulations when we take on a contract. It is a serious thing when you come into government contracting. And from there, once you get registered into SAM, now you are having to you got to learn what you're doing. That's why I say, coming up under someone like me, you have to learn these federal agencies. What agencies buy what you sell, and they buy it in volume? That's the first thing we want to know. Who's buying video production services? Who's buying digital media services? Are they buying it from large companies? Are they buying it from small companies? Are they buying it from 8As, the certification I talked about? Are they buying them from woman-owned small businesses? You want to do some homework so that you can then zero in on the 2 or 3 or 4 agencies that buy what you sell, and they buy it the most.
And so that's public information?
Yes, absolutely. Everything with the government is public record. So that's the other thing. If you are a private person and you don't want your business out there, government contracting is not for you, because everything that you do, we have to keep in mind, these contracts are paid for by us, taxpayer dollars. You and I ultimately pay for these contracts. And so we, as taxpayers, we want to know that these contracts are being awarded fairly with full transparency. And so fair and transparency is what government contracting is all about. I want to know that you didn't award this bridge contract to your friend.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or your relative.
Yeah.
Yep.
You awarded to the best company
Yep.
that proved through some sort of competitive process that they could do the job. That's how government contracting is.
Thank
Okay.
you so much, Farrah, for
Thank
your
you
question.
so much.
Yes, absolutely. Fair.
Okay, we have time for one more question. Sure.
Okay. Sam.gov is the website, but yes.
So my name is Mahala. I don't have a big company name, but I sell Kangen water machines.
Okay.
And my question is, which thought leaders do you follow for mentorship?
Okay. So one of my big leaders is a gentleman by the name of Tim Mercer. But Tim is someone that is a big brother to me. He's a mentor to me. He taught me so much of what I know in government contracting and in business, period. So I don't have have these popular folks that are out here. I have folks that I can touch and feel, that I can pick up the phone and call you and say, hey, bro, I need you to help me with this issue. Help vet this for me. And to me, that's what you want. It's fine to listen to a lot of motivational folks and get a lot of tips and everything, but when it comes to needing real help, you need someone that can get in the trenches with you and help you. And for me, that's him. As a matter of fact, he and I are now partnered on our government contracting mastermind group. It's called GovCon Masters, and we launched that August 1st for folks who are trying to get procurement ready and learn government contracting.
Is this your first cohort?
This is our first cohort.
You heard it first here at the WIM Speaks Show, okay? Come on, audience members.
Absolutely.
Staying true to what we do. That's what's up.
Yep,
August 1st.
August 1st, we
launched.
kicked off. We have about 15 businesses, some folks that are still in corporate America that are learning and want to get ready to make that exit in the next year, and so they're doing what it takes.
Smart.
They're learning first before they just jump out there and start making a lot of mistakes and wasting a lot of money. Yeah,
I love that. And you said the program is called GovCon Masters. It's a virtual meetup.
We meet every 2 weeks and on Thursday evenings, and then it's a year-long program, and then every quarter we have in-person boot camps in Atlanta.
Oh, that's dedication.
Yeah.
Every 2 weeks for a year?
Oh yeah.
I had Farrah every 2 weeks for what, 2 months?
Yeah, we're creating an ecosystem or a family, if you will, of companies that we're developing them to become procurement ready, to not only do business with the government, but team and partner with one another and with myself.
I love that. We need to do more of that in our community.
Yes.
We need to, it's not about, in competition with each other, but how can we build capacity?
Yes.
I'm small, you small, you small, you small, but we all in the same
together.
industry. That ain't real math, okay? That is something different. So encouraging you all to find like-minded people, build trust, build communication. People feel like they can't trust each other and do stuff. That's why you have contracts, terms. That's why you do interviews. That's why you do diligence. You have to do diligence. You have your paperwork. And let's just move forward.
And trust is built over time. Right? It's not, you're not going to meet a company and trust them right away.
Right.
You want to try to get in there, to your point, Danielle, do your due diligence, make sure that you know that they've done this somewhere else before. You've asked someone else about them. This is a small world now. You can find out information about a company.
Because Philly will call around on you, okay? They will call.
Exactly.
Shout out to all the people in Philly who bring good reputation and testimonials for me, because y'all be calling.
Yeah. So that's really what you want to do. You want to have a teaming and partnering mentality and mindset, and that's what GovCon Masters is about. If that is something that folks really want to do, I will tell them government contracting is not the place to go into by yourself.
You got to be collaborative.
You can't YouTube your way in. You can't chat GPT, Google your way. It's not that type of industry to tackle. There is no larger customer than the United States federal government. They are the largest buyer in the world.
And let's talk about the opportunity that are available. Are women and Black-owned businesses taking advantage of this opportunity?
Absolutely. So let's talk about that. So the 8A program that we talked about, the 8A program prior to last year used to be a small disadvantaged business program.
Until last year.
I'm going to tell you what happened. So disadvantaged meaning you had to either be African American, Hispanic, Native American, or Asian in order to qualify. Maybe? No, veteran have their own certification.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a certification called a veteran-owned small business and a service-disabled veteran-owned small business. The 8A is strictly for disadvantaged businesses. Last year, there was a Caucasian woman that filed a lawsuit in the state of Tennessee, if my memory serves me correct, and basically said that it was not right or unlawful or illegal, whatever the term is, to say that someone is disadvantaged in this country solely based upon race. Okay? White woman, exactly. She won the lawsuit. And as a result...
She sued the government?
Pretty much, yeah. As a result, the SBA had to change the language in how that ordinance reads. So the word disadvantage has been taken out. So,
but I thought that women-owned was also a part of that group.
Women-owned is a separate certification. Yeah, that's a separate certification.
Gotcha. So it's the minority certification, the women's certification, and the veteran certification.
And then there's a fourth one.
Oh, so she wanted to get women and minority.
She wanted to have the 8A program open to non-minority as well.
Yeah.
Not making it a program that is strictly based upon race. And so she won. And so now, today, anyone basically can apply for the 8A program, but you have to prove through submitting a discrimination narrative that you have been discriminated against in some shape, form, or fashion.
But I feel like if you're a woman, you could, that's it. I'm a woman in business.
There is a woman-owned certification and an economically disadvantaged woman-owned certification as well. This is about proving that you belong to some sort of group that has traditionally been discriminated against. That is what
in
the
America,
SBA in America,
not in another country. This one.
That is the difference now with the 8A program, that it is no longer a disadvantaged program.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
But nonetheless, the program still works the way it works. You still can receive sole source contracts up to $4 million a contract. I don't know any customer or any type of program that exists like the 8A program to take you literally from 5-6 figures to 7-8 figures in a matter of a few years. I personally don't know anything that exists like that.
Unless you're just a hustler who out here marketing and just getting it on your own.
And to be able to do that and you don't have to compete for these contracts, I just don't, which is why I'm on this soapbox. I am trying to expose this to as many women and men and business owners, regardless of what color you are, to this. Because a lot of us as small businesses, we just don't know.
We don't.
That's why I started with the intern. I really wish they could teach this in college. Students will make different decisions. Not everybody wants to go to corporate America. So back to your original question that you asked me, how do you create generational wealth? That's how you create generational wealth.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies mostly, but we got real men that support women in media too. I be seeing y'all tuned in and supporting us, and we appreciate that. But we have, the business guru, entrepreneurship, know how to get it done, government contracting expert here. So make sure you tap in. Make sure we are going to provide the links below. You have an ebook that people can download. You can start to learn this process, and the program is available to you as well. So make sure you take advantage. Supposed to be looking at this camera. Make sure you take advantage of the resources that we are sitting in front of you. Before we get out of here, we have a segment called Wise Words Learned from Women. So talk to us about a woman in your life who has been influential to you and has given you some words of wisdom.
Ooh, that's mama. That's my mama. We were born on the same day. My mother and I share the same birthday, and when I tell you
what a blessing.
Just like her. She has groomed me and taught me everything that I know about being a woman. My mother told me that she started praying for wisdom when she was a little girl, and she has it, and I do too. I don't feel like I have it to the extent that she does, but I do have it. I used to talk to God about this a long time ago, but I have accepted it, that I do have it. And so even to this day.
What does that tangibly look like? I wonder if I have it.
It's when you have the sort of, it feels natural, like a natural ability to be able to guide people and give people great advice and always come from
a chicken noodle soup kind of feeling.
Yeah, it's
you remember that book, Chicken Noodle Soup for the Soul?
Yes, I do.
It's a good one.
That's a good book. So she's the person who has influenced my life the most. We talk all the time to this day. My mother and father are in Birmingham, Alabama, and we talk about my business, and I keep her in the loop on things. She always, sometimes she don't know what I'm talking about. It's some things are way over her
head. To figure it out too.
Yeah. But she likes me to break it down to her. Right now, she's the president of our neighborhood association.
Wow.
She runs a nonprofit. I'm just like her. And so
that's awesome.
Yeah,
very enterprising.
Yeah, she's everything to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this episode, thank you again so much for joining us on this show, the WIM Speaks Show.
Yes.
I want you to look right at that camera and just give some words of wisdom and some inspiration right now to somebody who is doubting their business.
So let me tell you about doubt and fear, okay? Doubt and fear really comes from a lack of preparation and knowledge about whatever it is that you're getting into. Because whatever you know about and whatever you are confident and comfortable in, or what I call your business swag, you're gonna talk about it, you're gonna stand in it. But if it's something that you're not comfortable and you don't understand, the fear sets in. So in order to reduce that, master whatever it is that you're doubting, and all those jitters will go away. I promise you.
Awesome. This has been another amazing episode of the WIM Speaks Show. Again, make sure you go ahead and click on all the links that we have in the show notes and take action. The program is open and available to you. This is Women in Media, and we have spoken. Till next time.
Bye.
Won't you let me grow? Won't you let me grow? Yeah.
Let me go. Just let me grow. Don't smother my potential. Let me be what I was sent here for.